The Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, ACFE, is the world's largest anti-fraud organisation. Our video draws content from their 2016 Report to the Nations on Occupational Fraud and Abuse, copyright ACFE. 2,410 employee fraud cases were analysed. Companies lose 5% of annual revenue every year, or lose $6.3 billion. We focus the video on the impact of employee fraud on small to medium businesses with less than 100 staff, as this is who our fraud detection and monitoring software is targeted to assist. Fraud prevention and detection measures are limited in many small companies, but some low-cost anti-fraud controls should be implemented, such as an anti-fraud policy, formal management review procedures, and anti-fraud training for staff members. Implement our fraud detection and monitoring software and the risk is reduced further. SME companies were disproportionately represented in the report at 30% of cases and median fraud loss of $150,000, with no recovery in 58% of the cases. The median duration of fraud was 18 months. Losses rose as duration increased. When fraud was uncovered through active detection methods, the loss and duration were lower. Organisations that had anti-fraud controls in place, fraud losses were 14 to 54% lower, and frauds were detected 33 to 50% more quickly. The most prominent organisational weakness to the frauds was a lack of internal controls, which was cited in 29% of cases, followed by an override of existing internal controls, which contributed to just over 20%. As most anti-fraud professionals know, trust is not an internal control. Type of fraud: corruption, financial statement fraud, asset misappropriation. This is by far the most common form of occupational fraud, occurring in more than 83% of cases, but causing the smallest median loss. Due to the high percentage of employee fraud covered by asset misappropriation, the Watchful Eye software focuses on this area to analyse accounting system data to assist in identifying suspicious activity. Pre-employment screening can help in a maximum of 18% of cases. By not doing this, you expose yourself to unnecessary risk. Most occupational perpetrators are first-time offenders. Only 5% of perpetrators had previously been convicted of fraud. Only 8% had previously been fired by an employer for fraud, a consistent finding since the first report in 1996. 981 cases were not reported to authorities, with fear of bad publicity cited as the main reason for not reporting. Fraud losses are significantly higher after frauding. Perpetrators took efforts to conceal their fraud in 94% of cases. More occupational frauds originated in the accounting department than other departments. Watchful Eye software has been developed to give SME businesses assistance in protecting themselves against the risks of employee fraud. www.watchfuleyesoftware.com